So, Katie, tell me a little bit about this mother-daughter dynamic. You must have grown up and seen this when you were a little girl, your mom working in PR. How did you get that bug? And where are you now taking the company? Because your mom has kind of passed it on to you.
She has.
Well, she was my first employee.
Yeah.
I know she likes to tell the story that at age 6, through 10, we would be licking stamps, licking envelopes to send out press releases in the mail. Talk
Oh,
about how times
remember that. I remember that.
um,
It's crazy.
so watching, it's definitely one of those moments where growing up in it, I did not realize what a powerhouse she was. I just knew that we had a great copy machine in the basement and we had all the color paper you could ever want. So I had the best school presentations. But it didn't really occur to me consciously what a influence it was having on me in my life.
Oh, I love that.
It
Yes.
wasn't until I came back to work at Garden Media Group, and I still hear. I just told her we had a big conference in July that I attended, and I heard this time more than ever, you remind me of your mom. I've heard it forever. Tell your mom I said hi. Tell your mom I said hi. But this conference, I got more than ever. Katie, you remind me of your mom. And
Oh,
it's such a compliment because I have heard through the last 15 years of coming back to work at Garden Media Group that she really was a trailblazer in the industry. So often, many women didn't have examples of what great leaders looked like and what it was to be both feminine in the industry, but also be powerful and
well,
really to step into your power.
yeah. So let's talk about those pink suits. The first thing I thought of was Legally Blonde and Elle Woods, obviously.
Yeah.
But, Katie, there's so much you just said that I want to unpack there because you had a role model you didn't know at the time. You
Yeah.
had no idea what your mother was probably,
No.
confronting on a daily basis. But you, Suzi, made a very strategic decision that you were going to embrace that femininity in a room full of men. So I need to understand, what was that thought process? And when you would go into those rooms, I want to know who was in there and what was their reaction to your pinkness.
Well, I tell you, it started. One of my first jobs out of graduate school was working for an advertising agency, and we handled tech-size chemical companies, spray and wash, fantastic, all those products. And so I went in for a meeting, one of my first meetings, and it was a boardroom full of all men and me. And this was a lot. These were laundry products, and they looked at me and they said, "So, Suzi, how do you do your laundry?" And I said, "Well, Chuck, I drop it off the laundromat in the morning, dirty, and I pick it up, wash and fold it
Good
in
for
the
you.
afternoon." And
Good
so
for you.
that was the last time that they asked me any cleaning questions, which Katie can attest to. Still don't ask me cleaning questions now. But I decided I was going to have. I love pink, and so when I had my first logo designed. These two men who were Madison Avenue guys that had moved to our area said, "Well, what color do you want it?" And I said, "Well, I want it hot pink." And they said, "Hot pink? Nobody's going to take you seriously with a hot pink logo." And I said, "I wanted hot pink." And so then I got these hot pink pens, and I had a client that I did some work for. And 5 years later, I was in his office, and he said, "I still have your hot pink pen. And
See that?
whenever I see this, I think of you." And so I needed to have a brand, and I think I did it unconsciously, wearing the hot pink. And
Absolutely. You had a personal brand and people liked you and they bought because of you and they came to your business because of you and you're ahead of your time, right?
you walk into a room that's predominantly men, they all had on dark suits. I'm in a hot pink suit, I'm going to stand out like a light bulb. So it was a great way to stand out in a crowd.
I got to
I
get
never
a picture of
felt
that if
like
you have
having
any pictures.
I do. I have pictures of me in a hot pink suit sitting on Santa Claus's lap. Um, but I never felt like I was a woman in a man's. People ask me often, "What was it like being a woman in business?" And it was like, well, I don't know what it's like to be anything else but a woman in business. And I never thought of myself as being a woman in business. I thought of myself as being in business. This is my business, and I need to make this business work.